So by now, you probably already unboxed and set up your brand new Meta Ray-Ban displays. And now you're probably left wondering or feeling overwhelmed because there's like so much more you could do with these amazing smart glasses. So if you're left wondering what you should do next, well, don't worry, that's what I'm here for, as I'm gonna go ahead and share with you my favorite settings everybody needs to adjust and change to not only extend like the recording time, but also the best features and the best apps to connect these two. All that and more in today's video, and yes, I'll be sure to include timestamps in the description down below for your pleasure. Let's get started. Let's begin by going over the best settings for these glasses, because by default, your recording may be limited to just 30 seconds or a minute. If you'd like to extend it to the full 3 minutes, you need to go into your glasses settings. Make sure the glasses are selected right here. You can just use the slider to like toggle between your other devices, including the wristband. But by selecting the gear icon on your displays, and you go into the media tab right in here, you'll see a setting right here for video length. By default, mine was set to actually to 1 minute. And for some reason, sometimes like a 30-second pop-up, but 3 minutes is the max, and that's the one I recommend. This way you can actually record the action that's happening instead of accidentally missing it because it records prematurely or doesn't record right on time. At least this way you have like a extra minute or two of extra buffer. And then go ahead and also double check and see if you have auto review enabled, which will automatically review the preview on your glasses. You could decide if you want to enable that or disable it. And then auto import, super useful, especially when you're just connected to your network. It will automatically input all the footage and stuff like that without you manually having to do it. Really handy, helpful stuff. But exiting out of here, another thing I firstly like to do is go into the communication tab and make sure you are connected to your phone message as well as the phone app. This way you can be notified if you're receiving a phone call, as well as see your text messages. So right here, if it's not connected, you will see a no connection message right here. Just follow the on-screen instructions, connect to your device, and you should be all good. Afterwards, you can decide if you wanted to automatically verbally announce your incoming messages. It'll actually read out loud your message right down here if you'd like to include that. Or it will just tell you verbally who's messaging you. And then you can decide if you want it to automatically read out loud your message to you or not. But going back here, this is where you can decide to connect between all your other social media meta apps like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, as well as Facebook. If you decide on connecting Instagram as well as Facebook, this is where you can verbally just request Meta to post something on your behalf to Instagram or Facebook, like your stories. And all the way in the very bottom, social media platform apps like WhatsApp, Messenger, or even Instagram, as well as your phone. If you receive an incoming call, it will announce who's calling you. Now for wristband control. If you notice, I actually have it right next to my Apple Watch because the Neural Band is actually fully compatible to be used alongside a regular watch or your smartwatch. And regardless if you're right-handed or left-handed, it's super easy to switch between the bands. So if you'd like to go ahead and set it up, in case you already are wearing a watch or a smartwatch, on devices, switch to the band. From here, you can also decide if you want to rename your glasses or the band. Default one works perfectly fine for everybody. But select the gear icon to go into your settings, and then go into the general tab, and then select band details. And in here, you'll see information about your band, but where it says handness, select this, and you can select between the right and the left side. So you can switch between these two arms and see which one's more comfortable for you. I actually find it to be extremely comfortable having it alongside my smartwatch, as I'm still able to navigate, activate it, and navigate my device just fine. Just however, a little tip, if you have a gesture setting on your Apple Watch enabled, where if you do this pinch motion, it may toggle it, you could disable that. Just quickly go into the settings, and this should be universal for other smartwatches too, and just go into look for the gesture control in the settings right in here. And this is where you go in for the Apple Watch to disable the double tap, which basically does this. It toggles both the smartwatch as well as my Meta glasses, so I just like to have that disabled. And then of course, make sure the line band is facing you. That's how you know you're wearing it properly. And you want the sensors to be on top. And if you always need a recap of the Neural Band or the touchpad gesture controls, you always have access to the tutorial by simply just activating your Meta glasses, which, by the way, tap your thumb with your middle finger twice, it'll put your device to sleep, or wake it up. But once you wake up the screen and you're in this menu, on this menu with all your apps, go all the way to the very bottom and tap on tutorials. And from here, you always have the ability to go back and review the tutorials for all the quick gesture controls right here. And I think this is the best method because they'll actually walk you through versus a tutorial video of me just going over some of the stuff over here. It's a lot quicker doing it this way because it actually will give you real feedback if you're doing it right or wrong. Additionally, you don't have to tap your thumb on your index finger to navigate. You could technically just hover over by doing this motion to navigate. So you don't have to make physical contact with your fingers. Not a lot of people know about that. Now, real quick, if you've been enjoying this video so far, if you've been finding my information informative and useful, if you could kindly take 2 seconds and hit that like button and like, those really truly help out the channel because those allow the video to be powered by you guys, the viewers, which is why you don't see integrated brands taking like a minute or two off your time of a sponsorship segment telling you to subscribe to something that you really don't need. So thanks to you, we don't have to have brands in my videos because you support the channel by just hitting a like. So thank you to those that took the time to do that. Let's carry on. Now, since we're in the subject of gesture controls and we're done with it, you do have gesture shortcuts you could program by selecting the gear icon for your glasses, and then you go into app connectivity. In here, you could decide on music streaming apps you could connect to, as well as music identification apps like Shazam. Definitely pair the ones that you like using by simply just selecting and just go down and you should see something that says like connect to music. It even gives you a quick brief on how to activate all this, but I'll show you how to customize that. I also recommend going in here where it says improve music search for the best results. But exiting out of here, you can also link your calendar plans from Outlook or Google by selecting connect to apps. You can go in here and actually connect your Google Planner or Outlook by simply hitting connect and just log into your Gmail account or Outlook account, and it will synchronize with your glasses and it will remind you if you have upcoming appointments. But now in this section in our device settings, go down and look for gesture controls. In the gesture control tab, here's where you get customize these gesture controls to do other things, and it shows you a little video preview on how that looks like. So right now, default is Meta AI, but if you like to swap this with your music streaming platform of choice, you can select that. So now, by tapping once and long hold, it will automatically activate Apple Music, as an example. Or you could decide to select none if you don't want anything to accidentally toggle. You can also customize the gesture controls on the neural band as well. You can also find these similar gesture control shortcuts right here as well, where a thumb double tap can actually program not just the Meta virtual voice assistant, but you could swap it for Apple Music or none if you like to. And it even shows you a little preview on how that looks like. So the same double tap gesture to wake up your device or put it back to sleep, you could do something similar like that to activate Meta without having to say, hey Meta. You can also dismiss it too. And then exiting out of here, another amazing tools that these glasses have is the capability to enable drive detection. If you don't want your Meta notifications or displays to automatically turn on in case you're driving, the glasses can detect if you're moving in a high-speed vehicle and will disengage the display from popping up. So you can decide if you want to have this enabled or disabled. From my experience, these glasses work perfectly fine because they work more like a HUD, and I don't find them to be as distracting, but you can decide on your own if you want this on or off. Now, a cool feature that these Meta glasses have is closed captions. And the benefits of having closed captions enabled, to me, it's like a very advanced note-taking tool. You can activate this by either going on your app and just tap closed captions or requesting your Meta glasses to enable closed captions. You can also find the closed captions in the Meta app as well. You can enable closed captions right here. You can use this for watching videos, talking to a person one-on-one, and it works really well. And if you like to review the chat log in the Meta app, you can select closed captions and tap history, and it will actually keep the log from your past conversations right here, so you can go back and review it in case you're doing note taking. The closed captions also work very similarly to the translation. You can request Meta to start live translation and you can select the language, and then the language you could ask it to do is French, Italian, and Spanish right now. And then you can also review the history too if you want to go back and review the history log. So once you successfully pair your phone app to the Meta glasses to have access to your text message notifications as well as your incoming calls, you may be left wondering, how do I send messages? Because if you look in the menu, there's no access to like your messages for you to monitor your groups, logs, past group conversations you have. Unfortunately, that's not available yet. Apparently it's a future update that's coming out. So in the meantime, if you like to send a message, you have to verbally request Meta to send a message to the person's name and then the subject, and it will automatically send. From my experience, it worked perfectly fine. It works extremely well, just like it did on the other Meta smart glasses. And then as for the handwriting feature, where you could just like write down something that Mark Zuckerberg was demonstrating during the presentation, that feature is still not here yet. So that's a future update that we are expected to receive, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully it's not longer than 2 months. But currently, you can only verbally ask it to send messages, or you can reply to messages in your notification screen. You can select a message from here. You can select between the default ones, or use dictation to verbally send a message that way. And then a cool tool that these glasses do have, in case you ever find yourself around the world, this one supports multiple languages. You can always ask Meta to translate the sign that's in front of you, and it will utilize AI, and it will actually translate the text right in front of you so you can understand what you're reading in case you find yourself in a foreign place. This feature I used it once already, works really well. You can also navigate on different sections of the page too if it's a lot of writing. And then another bonus is if your glasses case are ever low and you don't have anything to use to charge it, you can always prioritize your iPhone's or your phone's battery, and you can connect it to the case like so, and it does indeed charge them. And you'll be surprised it doesn't require that much battery to fully charge these glasses too. So nice little powerful tool right there. And then as an added bonus, you know how the volume rocker, you could adjust the audio by just pinching and rotating your wrist like so. Well, you could do the exact same thing when recording a video or taking a photo. You could do the zoom in and zoom out effect by just doing this and this. But other than that, there you guys have it. Those are all the cool things you could do with a pair of Meta Ray-Ban displays. Let me know in the comment section which one of these features was your personal favorite. And if you have something you'd like to recommend for everybody else, a tip or a trick of your own, feel free to comment down below for the rest of us. If you wish to watch more, maybe you'd like to see another pair of smart glasses, but these ones are less bulky and more thin, just don't have a built-in camera, but they do have 2 displays. I cover the even reality glasses in this video over there, which you can go ahead and watch. Maybe you'd like to check out those too as well. Thank you so much for watching.